Did you know that women who have graduate degrees earn about 1.1 million more dollars in their lifetime when it comes to wages, and men earn about 1.5 million more bucks in lifetime earnings? Now that's a lot of do re mi. Sorry, that's corny, but it does beg the question. Have you considered getting a master's of arts degree? And more importantly, have you checked out the behavioral science gender equity master's in education? Well, you got a chance to do that because 2 info sessions are coming up pretty quickly here. The next following Wednesdays, February 10th and February 17th, both about an hour starting at 6 o'clock via Zoom. Now, if you go to this info session, you're going to learn all sorts of stuff about the program. You're going to see and hear teachers talk about it. And really importantly, you're going to hear from some of the students that are participating in it right now. So you get a lot of really good direct information. But I'm going to give you a little bit of it right now just to maybe entice you into coming to the info session so that you can really determine if this is the master's for you. So the Gender Equity Education Masters has a total of 10 classes. The classes are offered in the evening so that you as a working student can have access to the classes that you need. There's 6 mandatory classes, and then the really cool part is there are 4 elective classes where you get to kind of determine what direction you want to go, and you have a long list to choose from, which is a little different than a lot of masters because typically you don't get 4 freebies like this. And again, really committed faculty, really interested fellow students that you would be involved with. So this master's has well, what do I want to say about it? This master has helped many people go many different places. And a lot of those places actually were right here at Sac State. I think there's probably 3 of us teaching in the education department that did take this master's. There's other people at the Sac State administration. And look, you'll see a number of other variety of different kinds of jobs. So the really, really cool part about this master's, Gender Equity Education Master's, is that you don't require a teaching credential. So typically in the education department, all the masters do require those, but this one doesn't. And there's no GRE, which is a big exam, right, that you got to kind of study for and grit your teeth over. That's not a component to enter into this master's program. And come on, GPA of 2.5, that's pretty reasonable. And then just some paperwork, a resume, a couple letters of recommendation, just your personal statement, and some representation of your writing from an essay from a class or something. So no big deal there. I mean, all this is due by March 1st, so the application is due, but it's a pretty doable thing to get it in by that time. Again, if you go to the info session, they'll give you some more details that might help you, make sense of all of this. So the cool thing again about this master's, because it's in equity, is that you have the ability to be a change agent, right? To make a difference in schools in our society. You get to determine what that is, right? I mean, there's all sorts of ways to go when we're talking about social justice, we're talking about equity, and you get to determine that. So that's the really cool thing. It's not like there's a rigid line that you have to walk in terms of all of this. Um, so if we look at equity, then I have to revisit something I said about wages just a little bit ago. So I talked about women with graduate degrees earning 1.1 million more in their lifetime. But wait a minute, right? So men earn zero point 0.4 million more. What's with that? So yeah, not cool at all. So if we look, I was giving you a kind of a dominant culture, one size fits all standard of wages for men and women, and that's just not the case. So, just to make a point that during the course of your work in this master's program, you really get to have the ability to discern and really look at equity and look at inclusiveness and determine that that it's not all just a simple explanation of one size fits all. And I think that's one of the most interesting and fascinating aspects of this master's, that you get to go down some really deep roads and kind of really look at our society and our culture and see how maybe you can just make a few changes to help things be more inclusive. So I love this little blurb that Dr. Quincy I copied it from her, and so I want to give credit to her for this one. That the master's program, I think it's most interesting that it has social justice and inclusion strategies all over the place. Those fingerprints are all over the place in the program, and again, you get to determine what that means to you and what you want to do with it. And there's so many things, of course, that you can do with it, and there's so many avenues to go down. And when you come to the info session, I think one of the most interesting aspects is looking at some of the masters and projects that students have done. Just a wide array of really fascinating topics, and it gives you an idea of where you can go with this. And really, you can go so many places. So I think that for me and I, the overall philosophy of this inclusive and social justice masters is really the ability to ta-da, be a change agent, to maybe with your research and or your project, whatever you choose to do, that you're going to make a little bit of difference, that you're going to open a few eyes. And so I really think the change agent aspect really fits well with this master's. In fact, I'd like to just notch it up a little bit. I kind of think that, we're superheroes who have taken and pursued this master's and written some pretty fascinating things and done some projects in curriculum. I just think we are. I think that's where we need to be when we look at the dynamics of our ever-changing culture, right, and how we can make it a better place. Again, I hope that doesn't sound corny, but it's a very exciting place to be in this program. I'm sure that the participants that are in it, and you have a chance to talk to them, the teachers that teach it as well as have gone through it. We have all of our testimonies that we can tell you about, and I just want to remind you, pretty simple process to get your application in by March 1st, and just a pretty uh, I'm not going to say high bar because wow, you're going to do some complicated academic things in there, but a pretty easy process to get into the program itself. So do be sure to go to an information meeting, find out so much more about it. Dr. Quincy will be there and really give you the nuts and bolts of all of it. And they're kind of fun meetings, I have to say. I've been to a couple of them, and it's just kind of a casual place to be. And you get some good information. You don't have to perform or anything. You can just sit back and enjoy some of the goings on and the gender equity education masters. It's just so fabulous. So again, those are the meeting times. What There's going to be a Zoom URL, and I will be emailing, or Dr. Quincy will be emailing all the teachers that are going to be showing this quick little thing, so you have a really easy link and hookup to get into those information meetings. Again, casual stuff, no big deal. I know we all get zoomed out. We're tired of all of that, but do just go in, because I think you might be inspired and you might be interested in getting into this very, very special master's program. I just can't say enough about it, as probably is obvious, but you'll hear some other sides of the stories as well if you get into the info meeting. And if you have any questions, the people that you should contact is, of course, Dr. Quincy, and then almost Dr. Pella, who are kind of helming some of the goings-ons with all of this. So do get in touch with him if you want, but do try to make it to one of the meetings, and your teacher will send out a notification, I think, about that, and just check it out for sure. And come on, help make this world a better place, right? So thanks for listening to this very casual presentation, and I hope to see you in this program. That would be so wonderful. Thank you.